Hello, everyone, and welcome to Boston Globe Today Sports. I'm your host, Chris Gaspert. Well, the vibes were completely different at Gillette Stadium on Wednesday as Jerod Mayo was introduced for the first time as the new head coach of the New England Patriots. We have Chad Finn and Christopher Price in the house to kick off and break down this next era in Patriots football, and that's where we start our lineup.
It's been nearly a quarter of a century since we announced a new head coach, Jerod Mayo.
Being the first black coach here in New England means a lot to me. My calling is to be a teacher.
I trust that Jerod is the right person
I'm not trying to be Bill. Bill is his own man.
to lead the Patriots back to the championship level contention.
Rebuild some relationships, knock down silos. I think we have great leadership on this team.
I think we're ready to kick butt.
All right, those are some of the highlights from Jerod Mayo's introductory press conference on Wednesday. It was the dawn of a new era in Foxborough. The Patriots introduced the former assistant coach and one-time linebacker for their team as their new head coach. He has some big shoes to fill, those left behind, obviously, by the legendary Bill Belichick. So now we have Chad Finn and Chris Price here to break this down. Chris, I'll start with you. I know you were in attendance for this press conference. So what stood out to you the most about some of the verbiage and some of the messaging from Jerod Mayo's introductory presser?
It was all positive energy. It was great to see. It was everything you wanted to see in an introductory press conference. You had players there, you had ex-teammates there, you had Mac Jones in attendance. The two things that I would have liked to have seen, I would have liked to have heard from Jonathan Kraft, and then the second thing is I would have liked to have heard a few more specifics about what they want to do specifically, the offensive coordinator and the GM.
Yeah, certainly a lot of things to fix. I thought overall the messaging was really, as you mentioned, positive. It was sort of big picture CEO philosophy, not a lot of drilling down into how to fix this football team. Chad, I know you remember, obviously, sort of the Rick Pitino coronation with the Celtics. So these hiring unveilings are always very upbeat. And it certainly was noticeable that I think Jerod respectfully tried to differentiate himself from Bill Belichick. But on the field in the locker room, how do you think he'll be different from Bill?
Pretty much in every way possible, it seems like. I mean, he talked about how important relationships are to him and treating the players like human beings. I don't know if Bill always did that. They were more cogs in a machine, I think, in his mind, even Tom Brady. It seems like he's going to be more personable and open with the fans and maybe us media folks as well, which is a change. It's kind of where the NFL is trended, right? I mean, he's a former player, a young guy, youngest coach in the league right now, and this is sort of the direction that most teams have gone. It hasn't gone that way here because Bill was here so long and so successful, but this isn't uncommon anymore. Yeah,
definitely some sort of Mike McDaniel vibes from Jerod Mayo. I want to ask you, Chris, you mentioned wanting more specifics. When Robert Kraft and Jerod Mayo were asked about sort of moving forward on some important things and what is a crucial offseason for this team, they said they were still sort of in evaluation mode, particularly when it comes to the front office and who will be Jerod Mayo's player-picking partner. Does that give you some pause, some concern as they go into a really huge offseason with a lot of free agents? And also, the number 3 pick, I mean, this is going to be a franchise-defining pick for them.
It really does give me a lot of concern, at least at this stage of the process. Look, if they turn around and name a GM this weekend, that's great. But the longer they go without naming a general manager, the greater the chances are for a power vacuum to be created. And then I'm going to go to the worst possible scenario here. You get a situation like you had with Jack Easterby in Houston, where someone just kind of moves into the role of de facto GM. They can't afford to have that here. As you mentioned, this is one of the most important off seasons this franchise has ever faced. They need a figurehead. They need someone out front who can work with Mayo. Personnel decisions, front office decisions, all coaching decisions, all of that. They need a guy there. They need a strong number one.
Yeah, there's no question about that. So one area we know, guys, that will be different next year, one evaluation they have made, offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien. It broke late last night. He's going to go to Ohio State, work for Ryan Day, only lasted 1 year as an offensive coordinator. So this will be the third different offensive coordinator the Patriots have had in 3 years here. Chris, I'll start with you on this and then get you, Chad. Who would you like to see fill that role?
They need basically the offensive version of Vic Fangio. They need a guy who can come in and mentor Jerod Mayo, who has to understand that he has no head coaching aspirations. His job is to get Jerod Mayo to kind of get him to where he needs to be offensively with the understanding of, look, this job is not a stepping stone. You're here to help this guy. You're not here to kind of pad your own resume. You need a veteran guy because it's looking more and more like it's going to be a really young staff.
Chad, your thoughts on that? I mean, I wouldn't mind, somebody from the McVay tree, one of Zach Robinson, Liam Cohen, guys like that. But as Chris points out, that's a younger guy. Do you have some names in mind you'd like to see?
What I would like to see is it not get worse, because you thought it couldn't get worse after Matt Patricia 2 years ago, and it did. It somehow did. Mac Jones fell off a cliff as a quarterback. His promise seemed to totally evaporate under all the issues that this team had. They need someone who can come in, like Chris said, and I don't want to say be the adult in the room, but be the guy with the experience. Mm-hmm. I'm really curious to see how much Jerod is actually involved with the offense, because he was a linebacker, defensive coach. That segment of the team played really well this year, but the repairs they need to make are all on offense.
Lowest scoring team in the league, tied for the lowest scoring team.
It's an essential hire.
It is. I also think I would like to see them move away from the offensive system they've had for years. It's become very dense, very complicated. I think with a young quarterback probably coming in at number 3, he needs something they can pick up quickly. Giving him that dense Tom Brady playbook, that's not going to work. All right, let's see what you guys had to say about the Jerod Mayo hire. So here we are looking at our Boston Globe Today sports poll. We wanted to know what you thought about this hire. We gave you the 3 options there. And really, interestingly enough, 57% of you are okay with the hire, but also saying you're more concerned about the GM. I think that's smart, because no matter who the coach is, if you don't have enough talent, you're not going to win. We learned that with Bill Belichick this year.